What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Villains of Accounting video. Before we get started, please like, subscribe, and comment. And only leave nice comments, okay? I'm very sensitive. Today, we're going to discuss how criminal organizations launder their money. Now, I know some of you might have entrepreneurial ambitions, but please don't use these methods in your budding criminal empire. This is for educational purposes only. I don't want to get sued, okay? All right, let's get into it. There are 3 stages of money laundering: placement, layering, and integration. After I define the stages, we'll talk about some methods for each one. So the first stage is placement. This is when the illicit cash enters the legitimate financial system. One method used in the placement stage is called structuring. Structuring is when you make deposits less than $10,000 to avoid the Bank Secrecy Act reporting regulations. This is the most popular method of money laundering, but it's also the most easily detected. And you have to admit, it's pretty basic. I guess money launderers can also be basic bitches, but don't tell them I said that, please. Structuring is the most direct way of getting dirty cash into a U.S. bank account. The money launderers hire people called Smurfs because they're moving smaller amounts of cash and not because they're tiny blue people. The Smurfs make these deposits all over the country. Many Smurfs end up getting caught, but that's just the cost of doing business. Another method is by purchasing assets that have looser anti-money laundering regulations than financial institutions. Money launderers will often buy higher-priced tangible property that will retain its value, like precious metals, artwork, and real estate. The second stage is layering. This is when money launderers attempt to obscure the criminal origins of illicit funds by creating complex layers of transactions, thereby making it harder for authorities to trace the money. One way launderers might do this is by creating shell companies. The shell companies can issue fake invoices for, say, $10 million worth of dildos and get paid with the dirty money. The company can then go to the bank and say, "Hey, I have $10 million. Can you hold it for me?" The banker will say, "Sure, I just need to know where this came from." And the launderer will say, "Here, look at these invoices." And then they just stare at each other awkwardly for 20 seconds until the banker finally says, "I prefer the small ones." And there you go. It works like a charm. Shell companies can also take out loans or enter into agreements with other shell companies under control of the criminal organization, further obscuring the paper trail for investigators. Another way to launder money is through cryptocurrency. The primary reason is that transactions are anonymous to a degree. They are associated only with wallet addresses and not personally identifiable information. Even so, programs called crypto tumblers can further obscure the link between senders and receivers. Crypto tumblers do this by mixing the illicit funds with large amounts of legal funds at random amounts and time intervals, and then spit them out to their final address. This makes it extremely difficult to trace the dirty crypto to its original source. And it's done using highly sophisticated algorithms, so you have to admit that's pretty cool. But also it's illegal, so don't actually do that. I'm serious. Please don't do it. As a recap, the layering stage is meant to obfuscate the origin of the dirty cash. It's most effective when the money goes through many complex transactions and even changes forms, like going from dollars to pounds to crypto and back to dollars. The third and final stage is integration. This happens when the money is reintegrated into the economy and can be used as legitimate funds free from suspicion. So money launderers can do whatever they want with the cash. They can spend it on personal items like clothing, fancy cars like Saab or Fiat, and of course, micro-sized dildos. But oftentimes they will reinvest the cash into legitimate businesses. So let's say they buy a cash-heavy business like, I don't know, a car wash. Oh wait, I just got it. They're washing cars like they're washing money. All the massive dividends they receive will appear as legitimate. Another method was used by Colombian drug traffickers. It's called trade-based money laundering. After the layering phase, the money launderers purchased expensive consumer goods like televisions and washing machines in the United States using US dollars, and then exported the goods back to Colombia, where they resold them for clean Colombian pesos. And there you have it. To recap, there are 3 stages of money laundering: Placement is when the illicit cash enters a legitimate financial system. Layering is when launderers try to conceal the true origins of the dirty cash. And integration is when cash is reintroduced into the financial system with the appearance of legitimacy. In my opinion, the coolest phase is layering because of all the complexity behind it. But again, this is soups illegal, and please don't do it. Good night, everyone.